What is up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. The Premier League is back, and that means so are we. It's the North London injury crisis derby at the weekend on Sunday. That's the big one, of course. And Manchester City are going to Newcastle, sharpening off that old battle axe, as we know it's going to be bloody up there in the Northeast. I'm certainly looking forward to the weekend, and I hope you are as well. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, get the hype button hit as well, and comment below. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know how you're feeling ahead of the weekend's games. So let's get right into it. Nez, how you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic. National team stuff. Got my national team thing on, but I'm absolutely supporting the regular games because the World Cup draw is coming up next month. It's around the corner, man. But
I'm excited.
The national teams did what they did to intrigue us, and now it's time for the clubs to do what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely. I'm pumped for this one. Of course, it's a little bit, tinged with worry because, of course, Gabrielle has gone down. But I'm not too worried about it. Of course, this is why we have the squad that we've been talking about. We've been lauding all season. So why would we immediately? There's just a lot of people that are freaking out, oh my God, injuries, this, injuries, that. Well, yeah, injuries happen. We were decimated by injuries last season, and so we fixed that, and we bought like a ridiculous amount of people this season, which is why I'm not too worried about it, coupled with the fact that Spurs have double the injuries that we do. So how am I going to sit here and complain? It's impossible to do so, and I'm still confident. I'm still confident that we can handle Spurs at home. They are atrocious in this fixture. In fact, it was 2010 the last time that they beat us at home at the Emirates. So the record's there, of course, and it's still going to be a spicy one. No matter who plays, no matter who's injured, who's not injured, who's kind of up for it, not up for it. It's going to be spicy for sure. It always is. And if we had Gyökeres, if we had some of our stronger players, or at least the whole squad, I guess I should say, I would be saying we're going to wipe the floor with them. But without most of our attack, I still like the way Marino matches up. Because we have seen that Tottenham have struggled against set pieces. So they've had, and I will say that Vicario has improved in this aspect. In the beginning of the season, they were conceding left and right to the free kicks. And, we still got Declan Rice putting them on a plate. So whoever's in there, and Marino's not short.
Just go finish.
We still have giant people in there, but it's up in the air who's going to play. And that's definitely the biggest talking point, going around YouTube, of course, going around surrounding this game. And I think it's another question of what's Mikel going to do versus what, I think, or what the common fan, the regular fan thinks is going to happen. Because in my eyes, there's, as far as Arteta is concerned and his history and the way he likes to play, there's two choices. And it all depends on if Calafiori is fit. And I think if he is fit, he might be in the middle. There's a chance we see him at the left center back and Lewis Skelly plays left back. If he's not fit, there's a chance we see Hincapié at the left center back and Lewis Skelly at left back. In spite of the fact that Mosquera seems to be the second or like the second or the third choice center back when either Gabriel or Saliba goes down. And the reason that it wouldn't be a straight swap for Mosquera going straight in for Gabriel is because Arteta likes to have that left footer in the left center back role. So that when he receives the ball off of the goalkeeper or off of the midfielder, Declan or Zubi, who's coming to get the ball, he'll be like open to the field. You know what I mean? And he'll have like a whole bunch of the field to see. So the question is Arteta going to prioritize that? Or is he going to be, is he going to stick with how well Calafiore has played at left back and having him inverting into the midfield? So it's interesting. Is he going to sacrifice having that natural left footer in the team to keep Calafiore out left? Because Miles Lewis-Skelly is good at doing the same things that Calafiore is doing. So if Calafiore is out, he still could go with Mosquera there.
I mean, this predicted lineup here has Mosquera and Hincapié on the left with Trossard. So, hey man, I'm just reading what the internet says.
That's an interesting one.
Paco on the right, and Eze and Marino in the middle.
Yeah,
that's what they put. I didn't put that there.
I mean, I could see it.
I'm gonna go back and see what their other predicted lineup is because Spurs lineup is literally just like crutches everywhere. So I don't really know.
Oh yeah, Spurs would probably be Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, or Jed Spence.
Yeah, they have Spence, Van der Ven, Romero, and Porro.
They have no options in the midfield though. They literally have three midfielders: Paulinho, Bentancur, and
Paulinho and Sarr. They got Sarr.
I just read something that Sarr's hurt as well. He actually played for Senegal in the same game that Gabriel got injured, and he got a knock in that game and missed Senegal's second game. So he's a doubt as well. So the only people that are like guaranteed, it'd be Xavi Simons.
Yeah,
it would be Bentancur, Xavi Simons, and Paulinho, and then it's gonna have to be like either Odobert or Tell, Richarlison. And you know what? I think Kudus is out as well. Holy crap.
Yeah, man.
I think Kudus is out as well.
They have Spence, Van de Ven, Romero, Porro, Paulinho, Sarr, but you said he's hurt, so he's probably not there. Got Tell, Simmons, Richarlison, and Scarlett.
Who?
Scarlett.
Wait,
know.
Who?
I'm gonna read Dane Scarlett.
Dane Scarlett.
A 21-year-old center forward.
Exactly. This is my point.
He played in the. Is that the? I think this is the Europa League. They're in the Europa League, right?
Last season they won it actually.
Oh yeah. Oh, so they're in the Champions League.
They're in the Champions League this year, yeah.
But he played 10 minutes in their win against a Dutch team. So I mean.
Well, there you go. But see, this is my point when I'm not even sure, like, okay, he's gotten one appearance. It's the same with Arsenal. The guy that had his first, the 17-year-old, he wears like 77, that had his first, Anus, that had his first appearance for Arsenal. He'll be on the bench for us. It's going to be kids on our bench. Nwaneri, Dauman, Anus.
They don't have the bench because you have 8 injured people.
Yeah, it's a lot. But
and they have 11.
Yeah. But as far as, what we're going to see on Sunday, I still think we're going to dominate. Xavi Simons has not shown enough to convince me that he's going to be able to, to boss the midfield against the likes of Rice and Zubimendi. So I expect that midfield to be correct that you have there. Rice, Zubimendi, and Eze. And then Trossard, Marino, Saka will be our front six. And despite the fact that I'm quite certain we're going to be facing low block city, I still think we have enough to handle them. Rice to Marino on a free kick. I mean, it's a classic recipe. Rice to Marino on the free kick opens them up, gives us more space in behind, and we win 2-0.
I mean, that's the narrative is Arsenal are practicing the dark arts and set pieces. So you gotta get one right.
Hey, it don't matter. It don't matter how we do it. I'll take.
Hey man, you know where I stand. A win is a win. I don't care about none of that other stuff.
Absolutely not. I heard a question today on one of the shows I was listening to. They said, would you take losing to Tottenham in the home fixture and in the FA Cup if it meant would you take losing to Tottenham at home and also in the league fixture and also in the FA Cup to knock us out of the FA Cup 8-0 both times, but you win the league? And I was like, duh.
That's the easiest answer. What?
There's no question.
That's the easiest answer ever.
You could beat me 25-0 and give me the league, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
That matters. What?
Not one bit. I'm like, this is nuts. It's the same guy that said, there was a question about would you rather win the Premier League, but it takes 3 years, or win the Europa League this season or something like that. And he's like, no, I've won the Premier League. I'll take the Europa League this season. I was like, are you Huba? No. Like, in any kind of question at this point for me, I will take the league. Period. What comes next doesn't matter. If I'm going to win the league, that's all there is. And so at the end of the day, this is one of those games where, yes, we're expected to win. Yes, the record's with us. Yes, we have less injuries. They're, rolling in a wheelchair, essentially, to play this game. So we should win. But, to win a title, I think you should win at least 18 of your home games, 17 of your home games, And this is not one that we need to be dropping. But as far as how the game's going to go, I definitely think it's going to be a classic of if we win more second balls, we will pin them in, and they'll get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And eventually they'll fall over and break, which leads me to a question that I've been thinking about. Is Tottenham is Thomas Frank letting the Tottenham job is it too big for him in that are Tottenham becoming Brentford more than Thomas Frank is evolving to a bigger team? You kind of understand what I'm saying? He's like slipping back into, they're doing long throws. They're focusing on the free kicks. They're, low block, real tight defensively.
I think it's if that is the case, I would say it's the pressure because, I like that graphic I sent you about like the average length of a Premier League manager's tenure is 2.9 years.
Short. Very short.
So, I mean, is there a concern, especially in a big club? I mean, even though Spurs are nowhere near trigger happy as Chelsea, they'll fire you. and so
well, Daniel Levy stepped down, so it's new. It's all new.
Right. But I mean, I'm sure that whoever the new person in charge is trying to win, so they'll fire you. And I think that one of the things about like the Spurs job, because I mean, I still count them as a part of the Big Six. You know what I mean? Like they're a big London club. They just won a continental trophy. I mean, yes, they have their things, but there's money there. There's some there's fanship, there's supporters there, so I get it. They have a giant international following. It's not like they don't have fans,
Yeah,
And
especially
so,
in Asia, like
right,
from Sunny.
right. And so, you look at that and you say, well, you probably get nervous doing that, especially since Brentford is what it is now. And
Hmm.
you're like, it's very similar to Graham Potter going to Chelsea. I'm not saying Spurs are equal to Chelsea in stature, but I mean going from one thing to the next, it's a similar step.
Yeah.
And I can see it. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that at least for this game, you're going to see a lot of his former Brentford style, and I'm not that interested, but objectively, I'm mildly curious as to what he could do with everyone that they do have fit. If it's Solanke instead of Richarlison, I don't think Solanke is the greatest striker ever to play, but I think he's better than Pigeon Man. You know,
I got nothing for you on that one.
yeah, I really think James Madison is possibly one of the most overrated players we've ever seen. But I think he's definitely an improvement on Bergval, who hasn't impressed me as much, and now he's injured. Kolo Muani hasn't hit the ground running, and now he's injured. Um, Dude, like broke his jaw in the last game, and like played another like 4 or 5 minutes, and then came off. That's crazy. Yeah, their injuries are nuts. Just how many injuries they have. But I am thinking that we have to dominate them. We have to dominate this midfield, and yeah, I just feel like it's coming. It's going to be like a cross. It's going to be some. If it's not a free kick, it's going to be worked down the side. I think Trossard's going to be important. He's been he's been in great form, and hopefully that continues. No one really expected that at the beginning of the season, and he's been scoring goals, been playing well, and I think that Saka is getting back to some of his best form, slowly but surely. I think he's definitely wore the armband well, and there is. See, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what rumors to believe, what tweets to believe, what videos to believe. Half of it says all of the guys are out until Kingdom Come, and then the next thing I read is injury boost. Odegaard might be ready for Sunday.
I
Gyökeres
wouldn't rush
might
him
be
that
ready for Sunday.
yeah, I for sure wouldn't rush him on this one.
Yeah, that was my first thought. Was like, we don't need that. We legit don't need them to beat Spurs on Sunday in this game right now.
It's not even arrogant. And look how early in the season it is. That's stupid to rush him back now. That doesn't make sense at all.
We have a history of doing that too. We definitely have a history of doing that. But see, the Odegaard injury was like a contact one. It's not even like a muscle one. It's just so weird, and he was getting back to his best. But I agree. Maybe have him on the bench, but not even then. And it's crazy because it's crazy how things have worked out, because for me, looking at the week ahead, right? So we've got Spurs at home, Bayern at home, and then we're at Stamford Bridge next weekend. I'm honestly like, if this were FIFA, like if I was playing FIFA manager mode or whatever, and I had this in front of me, I'm rotating like heavily against Bayern.
Yeah, man.
I'm playing like a really weak side again, like the weakest second string side I can against Bayern Munich.
Hey, I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm not going to say to lose, but you don't have to win that game. Like, it's whatever, man.
It's because we know. Yeah, because we know how the Champions League, like its new format, works out. As long as we are top 8, we're fine, and we're already almost there anyway. It's interesting because 2 weeks ago, this game was, it's 1 versus 2, unstoppable force, immovable object. best defense versus best offense. It's this touted as this big, huge Champions League night, but it literally means nothing.
Not now.
There's very little as far as how it could influence either team's season. We play Brugge. We still play Brugge and Kairat in the league, and then enter.
And you're fine.
And if we beat Kairat, we've probably made top 8. So I would 100% it feels weird to say it because it's a huge Champions League night, and guys are going to want to, the glitz and glamour, the biggest stage. We want to beat Bayern. We want to, you want to win the game, of course. But in the context of the season, I probably wouldn't even rush Odegaard back. I wouldn't rush Madueke back, Gyökeres. I wouldn't rush anybody back. I might even rest Saliba. I would try to make sure I am as healthy as humanly possible next Sunday versus Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big one.
Well, both of these, and as far as when you're looking at the context of the title race, and and a lot of people the title race don't start till March or whatever. I think that's baloney. The title race started when the ref blew the whistle in the first game. For me,
of course, yeah, for sure.
The year 23-24, your 4th in a row, where we push you to the last day. You had to win on the last day to win the league. It was still up in the air or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We drew to Fulham in the 93rd minute on the 3rd game of the season at home. Raul Jimenez dunked a corner kick on us to draw 2-2. We would have won the league if we would defend it for another 30 seconds against Fulham in the 3rd game of the season. So title races they start on the first day for me, and so looking at City and Liverpool's next 5 fixtures, they're very much favorable when compared to our next 5 fixtures in the league. And so, come this time, getting closer to the end of the festive period, because we're coming bam, 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 back to back. It could look very, very different, and starting off the festive period with 2 wins versus 2 London derbies, 2 London rivals would be massive heading into the Christmas fixtures. I think it's very important. Very, very much so much more important than the Champions League at this particular stage.
Yeah. Hey, questions, because I generally avoid looking at the officials, but it seems old Michael Oliver has your game, but I don't think he had a preference with you guys in this one. I don't think there's either or.
I think it's all overblown. I think he's just bad. I think he's just not awesome at being a referee. And
he keeps getting picked for the big ones, though.
Yeah, they don't seem to agree. The powers that be don't seem to agree that he's bad at his job, like I think he is. A lot of people think that he's got a City bias, because they paid him to go ref in Abu Dhabi 6 years ago or whatever, and that means that he's going to favor City, obviously. But I'm not too worried about Michael Oliver. They all suck. If I wanted to, last pod, I could have laid into Craig Paulson. He was horrible against Sunderland. Terrible. Horrendous. But that's the standard. So yeah, okay, Michael Oliver is gonna come shit all over the game. That's what he does. So I'm yes, even still, sometimes it'll boil my blood mid-game. But once I take a step back and I'm like, he's horrible for everybody. For everyone. Whether he's on the VAR taking away a goal from Virgil van Dijk, or whether he's letting McAllister kick Doku in the chest, or however many instances you want me to name. Oh goodness. Yeah, I've learned to just let it go, because that is what it is. But But yeah, all in all, I'm excited about the game. It's interesting. I'm not like normally there's like this, man, if we lose this game, this is going to be absolutely embarrassing and horrendous. Like I haven't had that thought yet this season. I haven't been like worried like that this season. One thing I will say to kind of to wrap it up about the whole situation is, yes, we've got a lot of squad depth, but we have also a lot of injuries. And what that's going to mean is Arteta's going to have to earn his money. Like it's going to come down on what do you do when, we got so many people out that even with the big squad, we're actually up against it a bit. He's going to have to earn it, man. And if you look at the season so far, he's
been doing pretty well.
He's been doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely has. I love to see the clear evidence that they're definitely taking it game by game, and I don't want to hate on Arsene Wenger, of course, but I have heard the rumors, the articles making the rounds, the Jack Wilshere interview and the Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain interview talking about how they didn't study the opposition very much. Like Wenger, his teams, they didn't really study who they were playing. It didn't matter. We're going to play this way, and that's how we're going to play against Burnley. That's how we're going to play against Stockport. That's how we're going to play against Barcelona.
Now, the funny thing is that I hope that's false, but I'm being honest. So as a professional, at what point do you take the ownership and you study? I mean, if you want to be the best, wouldn't you do that anyways? But again, it can be you can say it's on the manager because the man, everything starts and ends with them. But I obviously I've never heard the interview, but I would hope that Jack and Alex both said, yeah, but we studied them. Because if you didn't, then it might explain some things, right? But,
the point of the interview was that Arteta was the one, like Mikel, when he got to the club, was the one that like started to suggest, hey, let's look at what they're doing. Let's look at what they do. That was the whole point of it. It wasn't like shade at Arsene.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it's not shade, but I mean, the thing is that with still saying that there's elements of.
Maybe he should have. Maybe we would have been better, kind of.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just curious. But that's fair enough. I get that.
No, but all that to say that you can tell he's looking at it game by game. And I think that there's an element that I don't really hear about a lot in analysis of games and the league as a whole. How many times has Thomas Frank played Mikel Arteta? Like in a game, right? So they have a sort of working relationship where, it's like poker players who have played the same game, like it's a high stakes game that runs every Thursday night or whatever, and they've played against each other a whole bunch. Their game, like if you ever watched like the World Series of Poker main event, and then you went and watched a high roller where people are buying in for 100,000 instead of 10,000, the play is incredibly different because most of the people that are buying in for $100,000 are the same. It's like the same 20 guys, the same 30 guys or whatever, right? So they all know each other very, very well. And so they change what they're doing because they know what to expect from each other. And so they got to keep it fresh. In the same way, Pep's a great example because Pep is the absolute master of it, because he can be like, okay, Arteta has done this, this, and this, and this against me in the last 5 matches. So I expect him to do this, and I'm going to throw that at him because of that. I kind of feel like there's almost in poker, it's called a leveling war, where you're thinking about what your opponent is thinking that you're thinking is thinking that I'm thinking that he's thinking that he's thinking that I'm thinking that he's, you know what I mean? It's called a leveling war because you're going back and forth and you psych yourself out, because it's like, oh, he's definitely thinking that I'm thinking that he's thinking that I'm thinking this, so I should do that, but I'm wondering how much of that goes into Arteta's thinking of this game. Is it going to be more of a Brentford style, old school, 4-4-2, tight lines, low block, park the bus in the box kind of style, which is what I expect, and how is Arteta's familiarity with Thomas Frank's Brentford sides going to play into his strategy on Sunday? I think that's an element that kind of gets overlooked sometimes.
And I also think, there's something to say about a derby, because obviously I think the Spurs have more of a sort of an annoyance for Arsenal than Chelsea does. So I think there'll be something in it just for that. So I mean, I think you get that, because I mean, like the Chelsea derby is sort of I'm saying this is kindly, is a derby of respect, whereas this one I don't think it's a derby of respect at all. So I think it'll be a couple of dirty things in here and stuff like that.
There's no respect. There's no respect. I don't respect Chelsea. And I definitely don't respect Spurs. Like when I first started watching Arsenal, like Spurs were perennial 14th, 13th relegation battle, getting to 45 points in the end of March kind of team, That's what I started out Spurs as. And then Pochettino came along, and we have to give him his flowers for the 5-1 over Uruguay. We might get to that later on, but and it's interesting. It's interesting you brought up Chelsea as well, because I was watching the Loose Cannons podcast over on Turkish LDN's channel, and Darren Bent was actually on the show. I didn't realize this. I don't know if you knew this, but Darren Bent is a huge Arsenal fan.
I did not know that.
But it was a weird feeling because I don't like Darren Bent very much. Very much at all.
Well, I don't think that matters.
But it was really cool to hear him talk about being in it, being like playing against Arsenal in the Fabregas, when Fabregas was still around, and how, it's like he actually mentioned that the derby with Arsenal was big, of course, but there wasn't like the hate that he had for Chelsea. There wasn't like this, the bite, the near violence that Chelsea games would bring, And when I think about it, Spurs are, like you said, they're kind of like the annoying little brother, that it's like, all right, man, whatever. That's nice, and you get a little pat on the head. I don't like them just as a matter of course because I'm an Arsenal fan. But Chelsea, like I hate Chelsea, like really, like a lot. And they're like personal, like there's like reasons that Spurs have never really, really hurt me. I don't like Harry Kane or Heung-min Son. They've shot some daggers for sure. A certain Danny Rose I can remember. I still hate him just for the single goal he scored against us, an absolute rocket, So, but Chelsea, man, I've got some real hate for Chelsea. I'm not gonna lie. You can ask X next time we get X on here. We'll tell it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I think Arsenal should handle Tottenham and comfortably at that, even with everything. So I'm predicting a 2, maybe even a 3-0.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
Yes. Well, we will travel up to the northeast with Manchester City. And Erling Haaland, he's definitely got Thor's hammer ready to go for this one. They're issuing swords, shields, and spears at the door. What are you telling me? It's going to be tough, man. This one, despite all the jokes, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think whenever you travel to someone else's stadium, it's a big deal. I mean, looking at the injuries that are there, and just the fact that they play tough. They have obviously more injuries than we do, but I mean, for the most part, the team is healthy. But then it's the question is what team or what players are you getting back after international break? How much rest did they get? Is the sharpness there? Because there's a there's a switch in mindset that happens when you go from the national team for your club team, because now you're playing for money, right? I mean, there's some pride in there, but you're playing for money. And so I'm curious about the lineup. I think he'll probably use the same lineup he used in the last game. I mean, there's the rumblings of, City fans saying, well, we want Rodri and Nico Gonzalez to play together. And I am of the mindset that unless Rodri is fine running and being himself, he doesn't need to play any football until he's ready, because he's a different player. Like, he clearly looks like he's a different player. There were flashes, but I mean, he's not fit. And I mean, if we're being honest, he came back kind of early from the injury. So I mean,
it's another ACL this time, isn't it? It's not easy to come back from that.
Right. I mean, well,
or has he got a knee thing this
time?
No.
It's he's healthy now, but it's just he doesn't have fitness, and I mean, there's no rush to get him back. Like it's and for example, he and nor Nico Gonzalez was called to the national team because they didn't need him for anything. Right. So just get rest and play the games, because I mean, obviously I agree that the City's run of fixtures is probably easier than Arsenal's run of next couple of fixtures. But I mean, there's still a run of games that, you have to make sure that, the guys are healthy for. And, I mean, because Rodri and Kova are both out, but the rest of the team is fairly fine. And so it's just a matter of finding that synergy, because there's sometimes you go searching for what you had and you might force things, and you're going to St. James's. You're going to a loud, raucous place where those guys play, hard on their sleeves in that place. And, there's a respect there. I mean, respect is as far as opponent, their quality. Records don't really matter, because when you play a team in a place that's intimidating, you want to be your best version. And so, I mean, I know there's guys who are now looking, because the universe is starting to rumble a variety of City rumors to obviously again unsettle the team, that Madrid wants Haaland, even though he's in year 1 of a 10-year contract. But hey, man, I'm sure the release clause is super simple for him to
bring the $1 billion release clause, and you can get him.
Yeah, and then just talking about like the quality of whoever. It is what it is, man. I'm excited about the game. I really have. If it was necessary to predict, I probably would struggle to have a prediction, because it's all. And I think I've said this on here before. It's hard to analyze what you'll get after a break. Like, it's really hard to do that. I like the Spurs Arsenal game. I feel like you all have enough consistency where you've been sort of away that I think we
have an extra day as well.
So you'll perform, right? But for City is just now getting to form. Like, they're just finding, a lineup. And because then now you have some people who are, after international break, you're starting the rumblings of guys wanting to get playing time, before, the new year, or I want out. Like, I mean, there's the talk of what Ake wants to play in Trafford. And I'm like, hey, man, that's nice. We winning. I could care less about individual things, because I could not care less, because of just, it's about winning games, man. And, there's more at stake than your personal national team desires. I mean, I get it. I get it. But then you just, hey, man, make sure you're like the duck. You're calm on top of the water, and you're doing the work to get yourself wherever you need to go. I mean, I think Newcastle is a real opponent, is a legitimate opponent, and you never know. Especially since it's the I think is it the 12:30 game on Saturday? Is that right? Yeah, it's the 12:30.
Yeah, you're the late game on Saturday. Yeah,
and so I think it's always a sort of a fun, stressful to watch City play Newcastle. I think anybody who plays Newcastle has that feeling, but I think it'll be good. And especially since, all the little pressure things are done. Pep got the 1,000th game. He won his game. All that's done. Now it's like, all right, we finished with the shiny stuff. Let's hit the road and let's start doing what we need to do. If I were going to predict that, I think you're consistent in this pick. I would predict Haaland to score. I would predict him to score how many. We'll take 10, but whoever. And I think it will be an opportunity for them to kind of solidify themselves, because then it's the Champions League is next week, right? I think that's right?
Yeah, man. Some big Champions League games.
Or is it this week? Is it this week or
this week?
Yeah, right. And so there's always an eye for that too, of like, all right, we're playing these people. We want to make sure these people are ready, because Pep does do that. He plays certain guys that he's like, okay, well, this guy's going to play in the Champions League. Like, for example,
it's a little bit different for you. You don't have a perfect record in the Champions League,
right? And I mean, so we're gonna play, but the next game is Leverkusen, which, I mean, they're obviously a different Leverkusen than before. Yeah. Now they're a different Leverkusen than before, but you still take them seriously, So you're looking and you're like, okay, because one of the things will be Bernardo's going to play one of those games. He maybe play both, but he for sure is starting one of them. And my guess, if I'm guessing, I would pick him to play the Newcastle one and sub on in the Leverkusen game if I was going to guess, because I think the league form means more to Pep. And I think while Leverkusen is a good team, I think it'll be a different focus there. And I think it's just getting back to rhythm. Maybe Bernardo starts 2 in a row, but I for sure think he'll play that one, because whenever Bernardo plays the game, it's a serious game. That's how that works,
Well, tactically, it might be interesting to note that if this list here from the Premier League of injured players is up to date and correct, Joe Linton and Tonali are injured. So there's not going to be that steal in the midfield. And I think it'll be Jacob Ramsey in there. It'll be which will open this game up, I think.
Okay, well, your report is different, but that's cool. I'll roll with that.
Well, I'm on Premier League.com.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm just, I use FootMob. They can be wrong, because Dan Burn is out, red card.
Dan Burn's suspended, yeah.
And then you got Livramento is out.
Yeah.
But they have the other players sitting there. I mean, but I don't know. I think you just play whoever's in front of you. But I agree. We will take those injuries and try to have some fun.
Well, my only point in saying that was Bernardo is like, it's interesting, even though he's not, he's kind of small, and you don't look at him and say, oh, well, you're going to need him for steal and bite in the midfield. You don't really think that when you see him, but Pep uses him in those situations.
I think City fans think that.
Pep uses him in those situations time and time again, and so because of that, if Tonali and Joe Linton are out, maybe he goes with a more attacking minded, less of a kind of box to box player, more of like, he could maybe combine the Foden and Shirky together, with maybe a Reinders and a Nico.
Yeah.
And Doku and Haaland as well, and just make it ultra attacking, because Newcastle like to play a back and forth kind of style. And Pep has never shied away from going punch for punch.
Yeah, we're good with that. We like those games. We got the robot up front. Let's go.
I'm just saying that might be a reason that Bernardo, that it's the opposite of what you're saying, and Bernardo comes on to see it out in the end and then starts versus Leverkusen.
I can see that. The way the league is going, and we looked rough, and I anticipate Arsenal winning their game on Sunday. So the 3 points are kind of a big deal, and
keep the pressure on.
Those are the 3 points that matter, and so because that puts us at 25, and so you guys. I mean, even if you draw or even lose, you're I mean, you still have your space, but I mean, it matters still, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about, the way the title works out, it's like you have to match the results at the stadium of the team you're trying to catch, right?
Right,
So it's not necessarily, oh, if you win this week, you gain these points on us. If we lose this week,
right.
it's more of we beat Newcastle at St. James. You got to go and do that too.
Yep, yep.
It's kind of how I look at it. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
And it'll be a time because I don't know what the weather is looking like. I mean, it's going to be cold, but I
it's going to
don't.
be cold. It's going to be dark. It's going to be at night. It's probably going to rain. It's going to be
Very, very England.
It's going to be awful, man. It's going to be horrendous. It's going to be just terrible, disgusting conditions.
Hey, man, we're good to see it. We're good for it.
I want a 3-3, man. I want fireworks in this one.
I mean,
You
you
know?
get again. You called it, and it's like that. Hey, City's good for it. I mean, I still remember the Chelsea game that I dreaded watching. But hey, man, if teams want to have a shootout, we will gladly shoot out with you.
Honestly, over the years, I've felt that that's the best way to contend with Manchester City. It's not easy. It's not easy
Oh,
at all. Obviously, that's a stupid thing to say, but I think the best approach, because City are so good, is to go toe to toe with them, is to punch them in the mouth and try to hang on to what you got, and try to keep
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Because if you, especially your treble winners, if you just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper, chance after chance after chance, you're going to concede 3 goals. Because it doesn't matter how you set up, Haaland will find a way. He will find a way. Because that's, we were talking before we went live. It doesn't matter what team you're trying to build, how you're trying to play. He's the guy.
I mean, the Italy game.
He's the guy.
With the Italy game, they were like, "Hey, is he going to do so and so?" And immediately after, the dude, how do I properly say it? Because in the text, they when I read it, it said buttocks, right? But he was saying it, in his mother tongue. But he basically grabbed his butt and then he proceeded to just go bonkers on them. And he's like, "Hey, man, don't do that." And he scored immediately from no chances. They were like, "Hey, man, he's not getting chances." I'm like, when are commentators just going to understand that's not how he functions? He doesn't need to touch the ball 1,000 times or get 1,000 chances. He just needs one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Like
And then he beat his own guy. He beat his own guy.
I've played against, obviously I haven't played against, many Italian defenders, but I've played against some defenders who, would their whole shtick was trying to get you off of your game.
Yeah.
One time I had this dude who refused to let go of my shorts. And so one time, like, I broke away from him and he held on to my he almost pantsed me because he was holding on to my shorts so much, man. I was like, I mean, that's one way to do it. That's one way to try and defend. Of course, I scored that day.
But you end up making the person more focused than they were before. So I mean,
oh yeah, it's like the time when the dude was talking shit to Zlatan, and then Zlatan scores and immediately gets in his face. He doesn't even celebrate. He just gets in his face. He's like, and walks off.
I don't get it.
Oh my God. My favorite one though is Eric Cantona. It was Cantona's celebration. I don't remember what they were saying to him, but he was having a duel with the defender or whatever. And then he scores a goal. And he gets in the guy's face and he goes, and just stands there like this in the dude's face.
Hey man, sometimes you got to show them.
Oh man, yeah. And I just, to me, it's like, why would you piss Haaland off? Like, why would you give him a reason to be better? Like, you don't need to what are you doing? What?
Hey, man, we're good with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. It's like when Granit Xhaka pushed Trent when we're up 2-0 at Anfield, and all of a sudden the crowd is back in it, and we go on to ship 2 goals. It's like, why? Why did you have to do that? Everything was going so good. What happened?
People are stupid, man. I mean, I'm just gonna go in and put stupid on it because any sport I played, man, it was funny. I think about like my buddies and teammates. They're like, you don't ever talk. I'm like, because the result is all that matters to me. Hey, man, yeah. I'm not gonna talk trash to you. I don't need none of that. I wouldn't say I was like, to use an NBA reference, I wasn't like Tim Duncan where I just was like dead in the face. But hey, man, all I care about is the result. And just as a young player, I saw people talking, they didn't win, and I'm like, but talking don't feel as good as winning.
Right.
I've never seen a space where it felt as good as winning. So that's always kind of been my deal. So hey, man, please talk trash, because now I'm like, oh, now I have more reason where my silence is going to be loud, right? And so I think I thought it was funny, but I think the game will be a competitive one, and I'm looking forward to it. Like, I mean, it looks like everybody's getting better, and who knows? Because apparently, as the news pops up here, Haaland is scoring on. Oh yeah, I think he's scoring. I think he's on 99 Premier League goals. So if he scores 100 in this one, it'll be like the fastest ever. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of crazy, man. Like, to think about how fast that is, and
it's nuts. It's insane.
But
like, love him or hate him, he's already. Like, he's a Premier League legend already. Like, he's going to go down as one of the greatest we've ever seen.
I hope so.
Already.
I hope so.
Already. And he's 25. And one of my favorite videos, and in spite of myself, and I've said this before, but in spite of him being, playing for another team that I don't like very much, like I'm a big fan of his.
You can like a player. I get that.
And one of the biggest things that I like about him is from the video I sent you last week, where it was like last season, right after, or 2 seasons ago, right after they'd won he had a medal around his neck. He just won something. I forget what it was. And he asked Thierry Henry, he's literally wearing a winner's medal. And he asks Thierry Henry, like, if you could tell me one piece of advice, what would it like? He's literally wearing a champion's medal, and he's like, look, I'm still 25, I'm still 20, whatever he was, 24, whenever he was then, and he's like, look, if you have an advice for me, what would you? And Thierry literally told him, he's like, sometimes we're back to goal when you're taking it on your weak foot, you could work on that. And he's like, yep, I'm gonna do that, and hey. He's gotten a lot better this season with his back to goal, and that's been some of his main criticisms. And why does this man need to get better? No, stop it.
And the funny thing is watching the way he's advancing, he's nowhere near his peak. Like, you can see him getting better because he's going to get technically better. But I think that's the shout to Thierry Henry. Like, you see the up and coming and the potential laden young strikers always go to him and do that. And I mean, these could be good guys, and they're like, yeah, but I want to ask you. And the thing is because I mean, he was a manager, but I think it's different because these are position guys, recognizing that a lot of his obviously he had natural talent. But there's an instinct that he had to learn too, because that's one thing that we look at in players is that sometimes, and I think Neymar is an example. I don't know if you saw this video, but like Neymar was a phenom when he was younger, but then something happened. And it was, I mean, yes, he got injured, but there was something in there where he didn't do the preventative things that would have gotten him where he is. Because they showed a video of him, trying to rainbow flick somebody, and then the guy just buzzed him off, and they just barged him off the ball, and you're like, and the internet is like, oh, he's done. And the thing is like, yeah, and you wish, because Neymar's young still. I mean, he's not old, And so he should be in the prime of his career or towards the end of his prime. And you look at that, and it's just so much stuff that's happened to him. And this narrative of, and I get it, where he wants to play for the national team because very likely, if he does make the team this go around, this is his last one. He's not going to make a national team again. And so you look at the narrative of this coming World Cup of Messi, Ronaldo, and potentially Neymar are all bowing out after this one. But then you got ascending stars that are like there to take it up, and so you have a hope for that. But you felt like Neymar never had that sort of drive to learn from that, because, for example, I heard a story that Neymar felt he had to leave Barcelona so he could get out of Messi's shadow, which I understand, but at the same time, you want to learn from that guy. I mean, look at him. He's never hurt. He's a tiny guy. He gets fouled all the time. And while, yes, he's different than Cristiano as far as like being a peak fitness machine, Messi's no slouch, man. No. And so to leave that and then kind of to kind of strike out on your own to get what you got, it shows that there should be maybe a greater reverence to learn from the people who are doing or have done the thing that you want to be good at. So I think, and I think I remember that conversation where Haaland talked to him that you're talking about. But I can think about so many interviews where strikers went up to Thierry and asked him that, like, "Hey, man, how can I get better?" And I mean, obviously, I think yes, everything is debatable, but we would say Thierry Henry is probably for sure the greatest foreign player in the Premier League. I mean, you probably get more of an argument about him being the greatest ever. I mean, I think he would have a fair shout, especially on an attacking player side. But the success he had while he was active was amazing. And so you look at his accomplishments, and I think that says something that people know. He was more than just natural talent. He was a student of the game, and I think that's why those players like him. So for Haaland to ask him that, I think it shows a great deal of respect, because we know Thierry Henry is an Arsenal guy, through and through. But for players from competing teams to go to him and have that reverence, I think is a pretty cool thing. And again, Haaland is 25 and very much an unfinished product, which is a very traumatizing thing for opponents to feel. And I'm excited that he wears the sky blue,
Absolutely, you should be. And I think that, this definitely segues into my next, the next thing I want to talk about as far as City is concerned. Not only is Haaland, already possibly the best doing it right now, he's getting better as well, but he's got the best manager possibly ever. Obviously, that's an arguable debate to have, but he's got the best manager possibly ever to learn from. And, when we talk about the title race and how at the beginning of the season, a lot of people are like, Pep hasn't really, they've kind of fell off, and, maybe Pep's fallen off, and maybe they're not going to do it this season, and it's not going to. I finally put my finger on it. It's not the PTSD from City having gone on, yes, you guys can win 17 straight like it's nothing. It's not the PTSD of treble winners. I've really put my finger on. The reason I can't look you in the face right now and say I believe Arsenal are going to win the league this season is Pep. It's still Pep. It's still I just can't get past the man has never gone 2 seasons without not 2 seasons without a trophy. That's what I said 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this. He hasn't gone 2 seasons without a title, without winning the league. And I'm supposed to say, yes, I want to get behind the team. I want to back the boys. Of course, I believe we can do it. I believe that they should 100% believe in themselves, because that's the first step. And I think they do. But it's still Pep, man. And that's, for me, it was like what I was saying about Arteta taking it game by game. Pep has the experience with everyone. He's got how many games with all of the managers in the league? And the ones that he doesn't, like, say, Rob Edwards, for example, who's just been hired at Wolves, he's got 2 games against Ipswich versus Pep. There's a fear factor there. If Rob Edwards isn't afraid of what Pep can do, he's dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so Pep is the reason that I have yet to be like, yeah, we're going to win. Of course we're going to win.
I think that's an interesting concept, like, because I didn't know. A buddy of mine, I sent it to a buddy of mine who's a Liverpool fan, and I sent him the little graphic I sent you, and I thought it was a very cool video they put together,
Yeah, I just watched it before we came on. I enjoyed that.
And first, for him to win 71% of his games is bonkers, man. Like, that's insane. But the other thing that I find interesting about him is the fact that his philosophy, which he doesn't own, he gives Cruyff full credit for what it is, which a lot of people try to be like, well, Pep wouldn't have been anything without Cruyff. Yeah, but Cruyff didn't win at this clip. I think it's a very different thing. And then people talk about money, but I mean, okay, name a manager who hasn't spent money. Like, if you're at a top team, why would you not spend money? Imagine going to Bayern and saying, yeah, we're not gonna spend no money. What? You get fired immediately. So, you look at that and you say, okay, the guy, even though it doesn't feel like it, reinvents himself all the time. Like, I think the current narrative about him is connected to, how he's playing as midfielders. And they're like, but Luis Enrique does that. And I'm like, but Enrique, managed under him, right? I just find it funny because the thing about it is one, like, tactics are not intellectual property, right? I mean, if somebody's doing it, you're like, hey, I can do that, but I'm gonna throw my own razzle dazzle on it and go from there. So, I think it's a very interesting thing because, and I said this to some City fans, I say, whenever he decides to leave, because he's obviously been at City the longest in his career, but whenever he does make the decision to leave, he'll be absolutely honored and revered, and when he does to make that decision. But I also think, if I'm being honest, I think because he learned from a person he probably admired, Sir Alex Ferguson, respectfully, one of the greatest managers to do it as well. And I understand the history of the game. They look and they see how Alex Ferguson left the team and how the team was run. And you're like, well, we have to make sure that we avoid doing that, because legacy wise, I think Alex Ferguson took a hit for that, because he knew he was just, he was bare bones in it, and he just left trash for the next guy. And the funny thing is, and I'm being critical of City, like, the title defense City had that year he won his last title was probably the worst title defense ever. And I mean, so they kind of, in addition to him winning it, they gave it to him, right? And I respect, the man and what he did for the game, but I get the fear, but, like, why are we bending over for him, right? Like, no, don't never do that again. And so, yeah, but I think Arteta is ascending in the right way. And, I've stood on that for, like, I guess 3 years of just one game at a time. I don't care what the next game after this one is. I need to focus on winning this one. And we can't think about March like, hey, man, if you saw, I said, is Champions League this week? Because I don't know. And I do not care, because I need to win this one. And
we had to look up who you were playing. Yeah.
Yeah, man, because I don't know and I don't care. When I coach sports, And when I was teaching in schools, I told the players, I don't care what the schedule says. The only game is the next one. Mm-hmm. you can't win a game 5 games from now if you
right.
finish this one. Finish this one right here. Don't look ahead, because no opponent is just going to lay down from you. And even if they do, something can happen to them in the midst of that game where they get a spirit in them and they punch you back in the face. So finish them first and then go to the next thing.
Yeah, well, for my sake, I hope Newcastle has a sucker punch waiting for you. But I hope, regardless, that it will be an exciting watch. I'm sure it will be. Tends to be back and forth up there when you guys go to town. I remember a certain 3-3, three or 4 seasons ago, that was pretty entertaining. And so that's what I'm hoping for once again. Well, it's certainly been a wild week in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We have some sadness for Nigeria. Got knocked out because of the voodoo from the Congo, man. Some of the things that I've read this week are just crazy, man.
Hey, man.
Curacao aren't, they should be disqualified because all their players are Dutch. Like Jamaica, you didn't do what you're supposed to do, Jamaica. Steve McLaren, you didn't do. Steve McLaren is was the coach of Jamaica. How do you feel about like coaches who aren't the nationality of the team, of the nation they're coaching?
I'll say this. I understand the patriotism of it, but I also understand if you would hope your country produces quality on the coaching level. But if your country fails to produce that, then after a real and extensive look for someone that represents the country, if you're unable to find that, the name of the game is winning, right? And so if you have a team that could win something, I would lean towards trying to win. But would I have a preference? Would I be nationalistic? Yes, I would probably want to pick somebody who their blood, quote unquote, was equal to the soil.
I think it's a good idea, honestly. It's like I heard someone put it like this and I agreed with it. When you're putting up your nation's best versus another nation's best, it seems like there's a little asterisk there when Tommy Tuchel wins the World Cup for England, but he's a German.
I don't think they would care because all you would hear is it came home. Yeah. That's all he would say.
I don't think they would care. But also, the USA, for me, the team that I think was probably the most inspiring, or either of the two teams that I think were the most inspiring would have been 2002 and 2010, both coached by Americans. So Bruce Arena was 2002, was the coach, and Bob Bradley was the coach in 2010. And both of those teams, like a lot of people would probably still say the USA's 2002 World Cup team was probably our best. Well, obviously the 1950 team, or the 1930 team that came in that was semifinalists, but there were only 8 teams in that tournament. So
right.
But yeah, man, if there was VAR in 2002, we would have beat Germany in the quarterfinals, and then we would have played Turkey. Dude, don't get me started. USA should have been in the final of the 2002 World Cup.
I got nothing
to lose to Brazil. There was no way USA was going to beat Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho, but we should have been there. We should have been there. Freaking VAR, man. Goal line technology. If I had a time machine, man.
It's there now.
Nah, but hey, USA got a nice win, 5-1.
Yeah, man.
Over Uruguay.
Yeah, man. Uruguay sent their D team out there.
I mean, not really. It was Manuel
No,
Ugarte.
I'm joking. I'm
It
joking,
was
man. I'm joking.
Rodrigo Bentancur with a Spursy type challenge, a horrendous red card challenge. He was already on a yellow at the time, and then got a straight red, so technically got 3 cards in the game. Well played for Bentancur. But yeah, I thought that I actually watched this game, believe it or not. I didn't watch the game versus the first game the USA played, but the second one I watched this one, and they were way more decent than I thought we were, than I've been given us credit for. So it's good to see that they're at least progressing as we get closer to the tournament. Gio Reyna's back in the fold, so that's good to see. You know, some of our best. I hope Pulisic can come back from injury. I know he's been injured at Milan, even though he's been having a good season. But yeah, I thought the U.S. looked good, and that's definitely encouraging.
Hey, give me 1 second. Sorry, hold on one
No.
second. I got he just called. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. But yeah, I think that it's been a good week for the British Islanders as well. Troy Parrott with the hat trick versus Hungary. Absolute scenes at the end of that game. That was incredible. You just love to see that, man. That's what you dream about when you're a kid. When you're watching the World Cup for the first time. I remember watching the '98 World Cup for the first time, and you dream about those moments, being able to score for your nation and then run off and celebrate, getting dogpiled by everybody. You know, he's got 5 goals in 2 games to take his nation into the playoffs. It's such a huge thing, and it'd be really cool to see Ireland at the World Cup. Someone made a point in one of the pods I was listening to about how there's a lot of Irish representation here in America. And so they would have a good, strong contingent at their games. And it would be really cool to see that. Although, if I'm not mistaken, their road does lead through Italy, who have a ton of pressure. Let me actually look this up right here. World Cup playoffs. Yeah, so Wales have Bosnia. Do Wales have to play Italy? That's going to be rough. Wales would have to play Italy, it looks like. And then, let's see here. Ireland have to play Czechia, and then they probably either Denmark or North Macedonia. Oof, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Still tough road to get into the tournament for some of these teams. Sweden is an interesting one, and of course, Italy is in there as well. So that's going to be really, really tough to, for Ireland as well to get in. So it'd be cool, though, to see Wales. It'd be cool to see Ireland. It'd be cool to see Scotland and England all at the same tournament. I remember the first tournament I watched, Scotland were there in 1998. So that was definitely a cool one. And I definitely hope to see them again. Scotty McTominay with the bicycle kick, an absolutely incredible game that one was. Scotland winning that one 4-2. And that was, man, once again, absolute scenes. You love to see it. You love to see the passion from the crowd, from the fans. And I love the commentators, especially when it's Irish commentators commentating on the Ireland national team. It's like when Iceland were at the Euros in 2016, and the guy talk about how it's fun to hear the commentators, like an Irish commentator commentate on an Ireland game, or a Scottish Irish commentator comment on a Scotland game. Like in 2016 when Iceland were at the Euros, and they were, I think it was England. I think they beat England, and I listened. The clip went viral of the Icelandic broadcast when the guy goes through, and it's a 2 versus the goalkeeper because England was pushed so far up, and Iceland got him on the counter, and he just devolves into screaming. You know, it's like you can hear words. You can hear words, but when he scores, which means that the goal meant that Iceland would go to the next round.
Yep.
He's just screaming at the top of
his lungs. Man.
And that's what it's all about. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is that's the.
No, I love it. I love it. It's funny. I was talking to a coworker today because they're Brazilian and they have some kids that play football. And when they went to Brazil in the summer, they made it a point that they went to a Santos game to see Neymar play. Yeah. And I said, "Hey, so are you going to try to take your family, your kids to the game?" And they were like, "Man, have you seen the prices?" And I was like, "Dude," and they were like, "It's a family of 4." I was like, so I was like, "Oh man, that's okay." But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm still work. I might have to show some leg or something, but I want to get to at least one game this year.
I'm gonna try to get one for sure.
And the thing about it is, it's funny because you make the mention of sort of being nationalistic. My query is, do I want to go to a USA game, or do I want to go to a game I want to go to? And I'm saying that respectfully because I mean the matchups will be there, and I mean there are going to be some games. You know what I mean?
Suppose we get like France, like dude. If we get England, I would love to go see all my.
No, but I'm just. But, you know what I mean? But if you get an England-France game, and there's a USA game, I don't want to go to the USA game.
USA is playing Cape Verde, but England's playing France. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm not going. Because the thing is like, especially since they're gonna kind of bang you over the head anyways for the ticket. I'm like, well, let me just go watch what I want to watch, which I guess is the point. But it's exciting. But I would love. I've seen the U.S. national team play twice, and they won the first one, and then they got smoked by Colombia in the other one. It was not even good. But I own me my USA stuff, and I will gladly go out there and wear it because I'm American, so I'll support that. But I'm excited about that in the camaraderie. I love when the USA plays in something where we can actually be unified and we can cheer for our nation together for a common thing. It's becoming rare to find a common thing, so I'm glad sports has given us that.
In my experience, only the Olympics has the, kind of has the power to bring Americans together more so or as much as the World Cup does in my experience, at least,
I agree.
Apart from things that aren't like horrific tragedies, of course.
Yeah. Well, and I try not to think of those things, but yeah, like for example, it was funny. LeBron James and Steve Nash and Steph Curry are on their podcast, and they were talking about that game. I can tell you exactly where I was watching the gold medal game. I was in New York City. I was in this kind of posh restaurant, and there was no male in there that was watching that game that did not pay attention and not cheer when Steph Curry was going off at the end of the game. We didn't care how posh the restaurant was. We was like, hey, man, America, man.
America.
That's all that mattered. All we saw was the night. And I'm like, hey, man, I was there for all of it.
That's what it is. Yeah.
We want moments like that. So I'm hoping Pochettino and Captain America and the rest of the boys, they put together a nice run. I'd like to see that because it may not fix the issues, but maybe it can heal some things. And then, we can be what we always believe we were.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I support everything that you've said there. I like that. And I'd like to think that we can do that, man. I'm obviously, get more and more excited as it's coming along.
A joke I have, because, the president is the president, especially like with the Club World Cup. And, we made the jokes about that. Do you know, because I'm kind of here for it. I'm being honest. I'm kind of here for it. If some miraculous thing happens where the United States wins the World Cup, I'm here for everything that happens with the president going up. I want to see all of it. I'm telling you, this he is must see TV when he's on it, and it's like that.
If you think the internet will break if Arsenal, if you think the internet will break if Arsenal win the Premier League, you have no idea how hard the whole world will get dunked on.
Woo!
If USA wins the World Cup, everybody, it's just Daddy D. Donald Trump is just dunking on everybody. He's gonna dunk on everybody, bro.
And you know the thing is, I'm gonna be like Reece James was when the trophy lift was there. You know, it's whatever.
I'm here for it, man.
Whatever.
Oh my god, that'd be, dude. It's
that and addition. Just to throw in a quick one. I'm being honest. If Portugal happens to win and he's up there with Ronaldo, I think I might laugh for sure out loud at that, because
I'm here for that
absolute chaos that would cause. I'm here for all of it.
I'm here for that as well.
I'm here for all of it.
You know, it's been a long time since Arsenal have won the league, and obviously that has entered into my dizziest daydreams. But USA winning a World Cup,
bro, I don't need anything else after that. I'm not even lying to you. I'm a giant Knicks fan. I want the Knicks to win. I don't need anything else after that one.
Dude,
I'm good. I'm good.
And not only that, but if we won it, this one, the one we're hosting
here,
dude.
And the finals in New York, right? I think that I'm right.
I think so, yeah.
Do you know? I'm in
bro.
New York.
If we make the final, I'm coming up there and we're gonna sneak in. We're gonna get in somehow. We're gonna figure it out,
like they did in Miami for the whatever that South American Cup was. I'm air ducts and all that.
Yeah, dude. We're Mission Impossible. We're doing it, man. We're getting in. We're getting in somehow. There's no way, dude. It's like in 86 when they stormed the stadium in Mexico City. There was like 20,000 more people there than capacity or something like that.
Hey man, no one cares. We'll figure it out.
Nuts.
Fire marshal will forgive us.
Yeah, dude. Absolute, man. Can you imagine the absolute?
I can. That's why I said it,
bro. That's why I said it. God.
I mean, I know it's a very minute chance, but I put it in the world,
dude. Man, I'm so here for the absolute and utter shit storm.
Yeah, man, I'm here for it.
That would just. Oh God.
First of all. One of the first things that Americans would say, and I'm being 100% honest about this, is there would be like some national declaration where you would change the name of football to soccer. This is the first thing that would happen, and you know that's the first thing that happens. Is they're like, I'm gonna go ahead and sign that the official name of football is now soccer, and
yes.
The obnoxiousness of all of it.
Trump writes it into global international law. It's officially soccer, bitch.
Dude, it's you know all the chaos that's and I'm here for all of it. Because being honest, just looking at us generationally, man, we have had the opportunity to look to witness some of the greatest accomplishments in athletes and across every sport, man. And I mean, yes, there are going to be good athletes and great athletes after, but like the individual amazingness that we have gotten to witness in real life is one that I just think is absolutely it makes even with the things that happen in life, it makes it worth it. Like we may see a football player score 1,000 goals. What? Like in our life, man.
Crazy.
And these are things that, I mean, I'm being honest. Unless they change that you can score 6 goals a game, that's a record that probably is going to go unbroken for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And then the goal and assist, because obviously Messi has that number. unlikely to ever see that again. And
It's
so
crazy.
I look at the things that we've been able to watch, and I'm happy that we live in this time. Obviously there's things that could be a little discouraging, but sports wise, man. And this is also why I'm a huge proponent of there is no such thing as a GOAT because time continues.
Mhm.
And so I think we live in an amazing time, and I think more amazing things are here. Because I mean, like we got the robot following, right?
Mhm.
And then I mean, just there's other guys and other people watching these things, and I think it's really amazing because it just pushes the next generation to be even better. So as much as we want to look at the automation and sort of electronic things taking over our lives, the reality of being in an arena, feeling that the victory, the crowd, the accomplishment, seeing it in real life, there's nothing like it, man. And so this is why again I have the empathy for you of the desire for Arsenal to win. I mean, I while you guys have won that trophy before, it's something like what I remember again. Like, so I remember the Steph Curry thing. I remember sitting in a mob of City fans when City won the Champions League. Man, it's I probably, as long as my memory is great and I read books all the time and write stuff, so I think it'll be good. I think I'll hold that because I don't care about a lot of things, and I cared about that, and it was good.
Yeah.
So that's why I get it, man. I get it, man.
Yeah, there are some things that are definitely etched into my memory, and there's a lot of soccer moments. Obviously, this game means a lot to me. Obviously, I'm clearly obsessed. And I have been for a long time. And there's a lot of memories that I have, both from when I'm playing and from what I've watched. And the last time I've really felt, anywhere close to that was not the last FA Cup, but the one before that. Where we won, and I can never remember if it was the Aston Villa one or if it was the Hull City one. But I do remember it was the one where Aaron Ramsey had that sick volley.
I remember that goal. I remember.
And yeah, that's the last time I was in a big group of Arsenal fans. Dude, that day I was in my full kit. The red top, the white shorts, the white socks. I had an Arsenal blanket tied around my neck like a cape. Dude, I was decked out, man. And when he scored that thing, dude, that whole place went crazy, man. That's kind of the last time I've felt that. And to be able to,
Yeah, man, I get it. I get it.
But it's different with the league because that's one that I was a different person.
Yeah,
I was a kid.
Yeah, man.
I'm to win that.
You understand it. There's a different emotional attachment.
Yeah.
There's a history there. Yeah, I get it.
To win that as an adult, to see that as who I am now would be just such a. It'd be almost like winning it for the first time. It's kind of where it is, right? Because how many fans who've just kind of come to the league? How many fans who started watching the league in 2013? That was the first NBC deal.
Yep.
That was the first time more than one game was on every weekend. It used to be they'd play the lunchtime kickoff. That was 12:30 in England, so 7:30 here. And that was the only Premier League game that was on regular cable.
Because it affected TV schedules. Yeah, man.
But when NBC bought the rights to broadcast the Premier League in 2013 season, it was the 12-13 season.
Yeah, funnily enough, before, and ESPN had spotty coverage.
Funnily enough, it was the Aguero year.
It
was the first year that Americans got to watch the league game by game by game.
And what a finish that was.
And so my point is, Arsenal fans who became Arsenal fans, then they haven't seen us do it.
Yeah, that's true.
The Emirates hasn't seen us lift the league, and so, And then, by extension, to win a Champions League would just, man, just.
It's not even a boringness, of that, man. I don't think I get why the Madrid people are so the way they are, because there's nothing like winning that one. I just, it's.
Well, for me, that's the toughest one there is.
Yes, absolutely is.
By leaps and bounds, that is the toughest trophy to lift.
It
is. For me, in the season that you win the Champions League, you are the best there is.
I think so.
At that time, at that moment, when Paris won, they were the best team in the world.
Got to give it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, it's going to be an exciting weekend, and we got a lot of exciting fixtures coming up for Christmas. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the new year, and of course, the World Cup is on its way. So I'm excited about all of it, man. But I'm definitely excited about the North London Derby on Sunday. It's going to be a big one, as was this episode. Of course, we're glad you're here. Thanks for being here if you've made it this far. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Nice. Hit the thumbs up, the like button, like you're saying right there. Of course, hype the video and comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on the upcoming weekend. We, of course, are grateful that you are here. It's been a good one, and we will see you next time.